Sanibonani and welcome back to Money Matters with me, Dogozo. Thank you so much for joining me today. Yes, today's video is about travel claims with SARS. Okay, yeah, yeah. So before we get started, before we get into that, please do remember that I am not an expert. I'm just a girl who knows a thing or two, who wants you to also know a thing or two. Okay, so let's get into today's video. All right. Okay. When it comes to travel claims, right? Who can claim? Why can they claim? Who can't claim? Why can they not claim? This is the question. And I am here to possibly answer most of your questions, hopefully. So, first things first, what is a travel allowance? A travel allowance is any money given to you for traveling for business purposes. Okay? Business purposes. Keep that in mind. Now, obviously, the allowances will come in a different form. A lot of the time, a lot of companies will reimburse you for traveling based on the kilometers and rate, either a rate prescribed by SARS or a company rate. So, when they do that, that is a travel allowance. Yes. So if you get reimbursed, let's say you use a taxi and you use 20 rand and you get back your 20 rand, that is not taxable. So that should be deducted from your income because it's your money. There's no benefit there. It's your money. You're just getting it back. So make sure that if you do get that kind of allowance, just check on your RP5 that it was deducted and it's not included as part of your income. FYI. So when you want to claim a travel claim from SARS, you need to have a record of your kilometers traveled for business purposes and for private purposes. For private purposes, they don't really require that you put in the details of where you are going, who you met up with, etc., etc. But for business purposes, they do require you to say where you are coming from and where you went. And sometimes they do want a reason, like, why were you going there? Okay, now get into the nitty-gritty. What is defined as business travel? Okay, business travel is traveling for business. You are going to work somewhere. That is business travel. However, okay, the one thing that I have noticed is that people want to claim from home to the office. From home to the office is considered private travel. Okay, you cannot claim that from SARS, unfortunately. What you can claim is from the office to the client, basically, or from the office to a training, or from office to a conference, stuff like that. The only time you can claim travel from your house to somewhere is where you're going to maybe a different branch that you don't normally work at. If you normally work in Sandton and today they ask you to go and work in Pretoria, then you can claim that from your house to Pretoria. But you can't claim from your house to Sandton. It's considered private, unfortunately. I don't make the rules, okay? I do not make the rules. If, for example, let's say that you work in Pretoria for 2 days, for 2 days you work in Sandton, for 1 day you work in Valley, I don't know. Then that, because you regularly do that, you normally do that, it is considered private all of a sudden. Things are changing. Basically the nitty-gritty is very important when it comes to SARS. So your logbook needs to record the odometer of the car opening on the 1st of March and on the 28th of Feb, basically. And then it needs to have the kilometers traveled every day for business purposes. That splits between business and private. It's very important because that's how they determine how much of your travel expenses you can actually claim. So to calculate this claim, you can either base it on actual expenses. So if you have your records of your slips for petrol, etc., 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 and then you just apportion it for business, the business portion of it. Yeah, so stuff like petrol, insurance, maintenance, you know, the interest you pay. If you're paying your car off, you obviously pay a certain amount of interest, so that's included, but you will apportion it for business purposes. So if you use the car for 80% business, 20% personal, then you will, the total cost of everything, you'll take 80% of it, and that's what you can claim from. The second option is to use a SARS rate. So SARS has rates, they have a table, for a whole table for it, based on, yeah, it's based on the cost of your car. Yes, so it's based on the cost of your car and the fuel maintenance and like a fixed cost rate, and then you will multiply that by your business kilometers. So if you traveled 80,000 kilometers for business, you'll take the rate, it's about 4 rand, multiply by 80,000, and then yeah, that's the amount that you can claim. I hope that makes a lot of sense. The supporting document that you need when it comes to travel claim is a logbook. You need a logbook that shows the day you traveled, the number of kilometers that you traveled, and the business portion of those. The business portion, and the business portion needs to state where you went. Okay, the private portion you don't need to say, just say private, and that's it. The other thing that you will need is, if you're going to calculate based on actual cost, you need to actually keep a record of all your expenses. They might need like stuff like receipts, your bank statements if you don't have the receipts anymore, you know, because you can check that I swiped at this place this much petrol, but you do need to put it in a summarized form, because one thing about SARS, I don't know, yeah. If you can, just record everything maybe in a spreadsheet, and then attach it along with your logbook and all your receipts and all of that information. If you're going to use the deemed cost, so that the rates that SARS prescribes, you can just submit your logbook. Yeah, that is pretty much it from me. I do hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you have any questions, and yes, I will try my best to answer them. If I don't know, it'd be like that sometimes. I'm joking. Thank you so much for watching.